them. Let's make sure that our phones are on silent. The first half of the day has already been phenomenal. Make sure that you take your notebooks from your package as well, so you can take down notes. Our virtual audience, welcome as well. You do know that you can send in your questions, and we'll be sure to at least attempt to ask your questions for you. Thank you so much. Again, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors for making this possible. We would like to thank our headline sponsors, Margins Group. Can we put our hands together for Margins Group for making this day possible for us? We would also like to acknowledge APSA, Vlisco, and Cosmos Innovative Center for making this day possible. At this moment, I'm going to take your seat so you would hear from one of our spotlight speakers, whom I will introduce later. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. Saturday is here, and I present to you the MD of Vlisco Ghana, Fatou Doro. Can we put our hands together for her? Please take your seat. Come on, we can do better. Let's encourage her. Come on, guys. Thank you, thank you. She has 20 minutes to engage us, and after you're allowed a Q&A. So like I said, take down notes in your book, and our virtual audience as well. Pay close attention, and you can send in your questions as well. Madame Doro, the floor is yours.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a good time since this morning. Yes. Thank you so much, Lucy, for inviting me. Such a great pleasure to always be part of all those big initiatives you have. So, I have the subject of authenticity. A couple of days ago, Lucy team came back to me, or came to my team, and asked me to talk about a subject during the Bold New Normal conference. And as usual, when I like someone, when I find the person so inspiring, I don't really look at the document. I just say, oh, don't worry, I will do it, no problem. So I said, oh, tell her, I will do it. And 2 days ago, Lucy team came for the teaser that we had to record that you just watched. And they told me, okay, you have to say something about authenticity. And if you watch very well the video, I didn't say anything about authenticity, because I didn't have a clue on what to say on that day. That's what it is to be authentic. So I did the video, and I said, okay, you guys will come and we'll hear about authenticity, and then you will meet really great people, because I was still trying to figure out what to say. I spent the past 2 days thinking, okay, if Lucy wants me to talk about authenticity, it's like she really believes that I have something authentic. But what is it? Because I couldn't really get it. And then this morning, I asked my husband, do you think I have something authentic to talk about? And he was laughing, and I said, you know what? I'm going to write a message to Lucy and tell her, I think I will probably change the subject, because I feel like a fraud, almost. And my husband said, no, you are such a passionate person. Whatever you do it with your full heart. You can do it, you know, so many. Just look at what you have done so far. Think about what you have achieved. This is what it means to be authentic. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. And I felt, okay, still, when I get into this room, I will tell you guys, you came for authenticity, but maybe I'm going to talk about resilience. Because we are in 40% inflation, I think it's better to talk about resilience than authenticity, right? But because I'm such a loyal person to Lucy, I have to put some word about this authenticity. And we are going to talk about authenticity. Yes. I think what I'm trying to explain here is that it's very difficult to explain the word authenticity. Even for me, being an MD of such a big company, I still really struggle to explain what it means. But it also means that there is a challenge about that word. So I went on Google, I did my research, I put authenticity. And there was like 1,000 of video, and then also link on authenticity. And I felt, ooh, if there is that many number of people who talk about authenticity, it means that we are somehow lost as a generation. How do we spend so much time trying to explain how to be our own self in 2022? If you type, just use your phone, go on YouTube at Authenticity, you will have a number of videos. So there is a problem deeper than just talking about it, is doing it, right? So then I talked more about it when I was coming, and I felt, okay, what does it mean for me really? So, and I talked about my career, what I have achieved so far, and I remember long time ago when I moved from Nigeria to Dubai. So I used to work in Nigeria, and I was one of those, really good employees, fast moving, flyer. Like I would just overachieve everything, and my boss loved me. And that's the point, when you're in FMCG, it's fast moving good, so you have to be fast as well. So I was fast, I was delivering, so I was handling the first French-speaking countries, Senegal, and then I took over all the French-speaking countries, and then I took over all the English-speaking countries, and I managed the whole West African region. And then I got promoted to move to Dubai. And I was the first black person to move from Africa to Dubai. We had an office, but no other black person was moved there. And I was the first one. And I felt, wow, I must have done something right to be the first person to be moved to Dubai. And that means that I'm a superstar. I can achieve everything. So I got to Dubai, and what I did was like, okay, if all these years you behave this way, and you were able to achieve that far, then why don't you reapply the same principle? Then you will go far. So got to Dubai, say, okay, what did my boss in Nigeria like about me? I'm a good project manager. I'm a really good planner. I'm a number person. I'm a focused timeline, really good with agencies, super saving person. So I went to Dubai and I applied the same principle. And I became, I think, the lowest person in the team in the eyes of my boss. I wasn't performing. So I'm explaining that because what took you here cannot take you there. And that also goes with the name of authenticity, because sometimes we feel that authenticity means that I should always be the same things. And that's not the case. My boss in Dubai wanted me to go on dinner with my colleagues. So we were in a team of 4 people, and all my colleagues were Arabs. My boss was a Pakistani, and I was the only black person. Just imagine the clash. And I'm a Muslim also, so just imagine the whole clash, female, young, black, Muslim, and they're all men. So as a person, my whole personality felt, I don't know, like I felt I was fighting with myself, trying to fit into something. And I didn't feel doing that. I felt, let me do my job as everybody should do, and then go home. I was newly married, I had a baby, so I said, okay, just do my job and I go home. But my boss was expecting more than that. The same principle that I've achieved in the past or I used didn't really help me there. I underperformed badly. And I asked my boss, what am I supposed to do? And he said, when I ask you to come and play ping pong with me, you should come and play ping pong with me. Because we had a ping pong in the office. But I always said no, because first of all, I don't know how to play ping pong. And then second, I don't see why I should do that. I mean, I'm paid to do a job. Why am I going to do ping pong with him? But then it was something that he was doing every day after lunch with my other colleagues. And usually during those sessions, they were fixing business issues, and he was coaching them. In the evenings, once a while, he will say, let's go for dinner. And I will say, no, I have a baby at home. My husband is waiting for me, and that's not my job. Why will I go and, take dinner with you? So I kept putting barrier. Or he will tell me, you spend more time out of your screenshot because you like doing too much Excel sheet planning. I'm a math person. And the problem with math people, we like to plan everything. So the same principle didn't work for me. But how would you define me back then? You would say that, was I an authentic person or was I just a rigid person? Depending on the people. Some would say I was just authentic, I was just being myself. But the Fatou of 2022 would say that I was stubborn. Really, I felt I made a mistake back then. Why? Because I should have focused on the bigger goal. What was my purpose? My purpose was to be the best employee, to overachieve and deliver fantastic brands that would affect other consumers in other countries. That was my goal. But you can achieve a goal using different way. And I could have gone playing ping pong. I would have, of course, failed. and he would have win. But then just the fact of trying and focusing on my goal and asking questions about the business deal that we couldn't achieve because I messed up would have changed the whole story. It's still being authentic. It's just that I am focused on my goal. So when you think about authenticity, think about what is your bigger goal? What is your vision? What are you trying to achieve? You will use different way of achieving it, but you can still achieve it. Focus more on being effective than trying to be yourself here. Because your true authentic self is the person that you see for the future, not the person that is here. If you keep doing the same thing over and over right now, you will still be at the same place. But if you keep doing the same thing differently with your vision in mind, then you will be there tomorrow. Do you get what I'm saying here? Yeah? So if you want to be a director of a big firm in finance, and let's say assume that you're an accountant right now, will you still behave like an accountant today? If you want to achieve, there is no way you're going to be that CFO in the next few years. You'll behave as an accountant. But if you looked at what are the principles to achieve that goal, what are the key words that make a CFO a good CFO, and you work on it, and you have a plan, then you will be there. Because that's your true self. That's what makes you you. Because that's what you dream about. When you sleep, that's what you aim at. So focus on the bigger goal. So beyond the challenge around defining the authenticity, I think there is something that I like the most. I go back to what my husband said this morning, that I'm a passionate person. And passion is a fantastic tool to achieve everything you want. If you ask anyone, I think I have people from my team here, if you ask them, how will you define Fatou today? Maybe Rose, you can say something. How will you define? You better say something nice, huh? No, but as a true person, what are the things that people talk the most about? What are the facts that I take usually? Let me ask Deborah. Maybe she'll get something.
You are a focused person. You set goal almost for your team members, and then you will always come back to ask if you've been able to achieve this. So I think you are very focused.
Thank you. Or you will get maybe a promotion. So, yes, in general, I'm very focused, but I think there are two things that I hope that you believe in that when people ask about Fatou, there are too few words that comes, which is often like I care too much about women more than men sometimes, and I'm about diversity and inclusion, and women empowerment. And I want to go back to before I took the job of Vlisco. So when I took the job of Vlisco, when they came to me, so usually you have a headhunter who come and ask you, oh, come and do Vlisco. Of course, I know Vlisco has a brand, and I felt, ooh, that's a big brand. But I usually never take a job just for the brand name. I usually always take a job because I find that the story I can tell is bigger than me. So when he came to me and he told me about the job, and I said, no, thank you. Even though I find my mom would be very happy to hear that I'm handling Vlisco brand. And he insisted. We had like a year discussion back and forth before I took the job. And the reason why I told him, Madian, you know why I'm taking this job? Of course, you have the benefit you want. But the most important thing is I felt that in 5 years' time, when I think about what I've achieved, I will be really proud of myself. And the things that I want to achieve will be in sync with my person, my values. I looked at different members of the organization, and I saw that for 650 employees, we only had 6% female. For a brand that, back before I joined, that mainly sell to women. And I looked at the management, and there was no female. It was 100% male. And I tried to understand from my previous CEO what are the challenges that the business is facing. Of course, business challenges, but as we all know that business can only rise if you have the right people, and if the people feel really empowered. And I felt that was missing. So when I took that job, I took it because I was truly passionate about the goal that I wanted to achieve. So that goes back to you. When you want to be authentic, how passionate are you about the things that you do? When I say passionate, it's not like just saying the word passionate. It's like you feel it from the inside. It's like it just makes you move. You feel that when you are going home, you are doing something right. How are you? I go back in the office and I can tell you we always have struggle in my company. But every day I go, I feel that I'm getting closer to the dream I have that in 5 years I will think about that. So you need first to understand who are you, what you stand for as a person, what are your values, and then try to be passionate about that. In fact, you don't even need to try, because if it's your values, you'll be passionate about that. And then for those who are in a corporate organization, then you think about your job and see, okay, is your job connected to your values? And if not, then you have two options. One is to quit, but then please don't quit. Find a job first before you quit. And then the second one is to ask yourself deep inside, are you not expecting too much things from the company? Are you not supposed to be the catalyst to change that company to be in those values that you believe so much? And that's the best option usually. Before you move, never move as being a failure. Move always when you are at the highest level. Never do that. Because you would have worked on something that is more difficult, is trying to learn. And there is always, it's always uncomfortable to get out of a comfort zone. Especially when you are learning. You feel like, oh, it's like I'm a fraud, I'm faking it. But no, you are not faking it. You are just learning. You are just becoming your future self. That's what you are trying to do. So figure out if, for example, I'm just giving an example. You are in a company and you are in HR and you feel that, okay, what you dream about is about marketing. You do brand building, for example, but that company really don't care about brand building. You have the obligation to show them what's the added value to add marketing into the structure as an HR. You as an HR, you can show them that, okay, I can make people love people. I can make people really understand where the company is heading to by using marketing. You see what I mean? Like if the company is trying to achieve 10% revenue growth or 5% EBIT or whatever it is, you as a marketer, as an HR, you won't just go and tell people, support the company, work harder, you are going to achieve it. I mean, they will listen to you and then tomorrow they go back to their life. But a marketer knows how to make it happen very well. You engage people, you excite them, you use tools, you use internet, you use really brand building, you bring speakers from outside, you tell that story a different way. But you are still an HR, but you are living your purpose in a different means. That's what passion is about. It's trying to find means to live your life regardless what you are facing. So the last one I want to achieve, I see my timer. It's that it takes courage to be authentic. It really takes courage to be authentic. If you think about all those leaders that has really inspired you, one that maybe will come to your mind is Mandela, for example, or Oprah Winfrey. The only reason you think about them is because they have faced challenge. But what they did was that they silenced what the world was telling them, and they focused on their needs. They really disregarded what their friends, their community was expecting from them, and they looked at, what do I want today? I want to achieve this and that. I want to turn this. And how do I achieve it? You can only achieve it when you have the focus. When you think clearly without really thinking about the other one, yourself. At the end, if you are happy, the rest of the people around you, at least half of them would be happy. So usually some people ask me, oh, you are an MD and your husband, what does he think about it, You are always all over the place for a female and then you have kids. You should maybe stay at home, kind of. And I told one of my friends asked me, and I said, you know what? I do me. Because when I do me, then my husband will get the best of me. It's not my duty to make him happy. No, it's not my duty to make him happy. He has the responsibility of his own life. He chose me because he saw in me something stronger and bigger that could really help him. But he has to find that self by himself. When he looked at me, when he see the way I behave, the decision I take, it inspires him. But the action to take, it's his responsibility, not mine. You can see your husband, or he can see me running every morning, exercising, and I'm inspiring. But if he doesn't wake up and do that, I can't do anything for him. I can't be and say, but, hey, honey, wake up, wake up. You will not lose weight. Please wake up. Why? Why now? That's not my business. You love sleeping and the bed is sweet. That's your, we do that. Me, I'm going to sweat. It's tough, but that's my roots. It takes courage to be a leader and to be authentic. Stop thinking about the people. Think about in a number of years when you will be old and you look back at your story, will you be proud of yourself? Would you say that, oh, I care too much about what people think about me? Or would you say that I did me? I really did me. So when you think about authenticity tomorrow, at least you won't do what I did the past 2 days. You will think about having a purpose, being passionate, and you will think more about how you can be effective and not rigid and stubborn. Heroes are not heroes only because the road is smooth. Heroes are heroes because they overcome challenges. So you are your own glass ceiling. Overcome your challenge and become your true self. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it.
Yeah.
Fatou Doro, thank you so much. So we have 10 minutes for Q&A. Our virtual audience is super active. Do we have a question in here before I read from the virtual audience? Okay. So Fatou, this question is from Esther Addo. She says, how do you deal with setbacks or failures as you established your business? And was there any point in time you thought about quitting your job when you were going through the challenges? From Esther Addo. Thank you, Esther.
Thank you, Esther. We will always have challenges. And I think embrace challenges. It's good to have challenge. I won't be the person I am today if I didn't have challenges, really. So you should always embrace challenges, but see the challenges as a step to learn, overcome the challenge, and get to the next level. So the better way of dealing it is accepting the challenge, and then think about how do I fix it? What are the options I have? And then work on it. Don't be passive. Huh? A lot of people, when they have challenges, they spend too much time thinking, oh, this is stressing, this is stressful, oh, this one, these things. Like you're wasting time. And life is about timing. Just think and say, I have to fix it. And focus on that. Just do it. Be a doer.
Thank you so much. Oh, yes, sir. Wait. You want to ask a question? Are you ready? Stretch your limbs. Let's see how accurate you are.
Wow.
All righty, you
This
ready?
is a tough one.
You're welcome. All righty, go ahead. Ask your question.
Thank you. So Fatuma, thank you for the session. Listening to you, I can glean from the fact that you've been to sort of various roles or places where probably you were the first or you were alone. How did you survive? What are some of the skill sets that has helped you? Because it's like you're breaking ceiling, but now you speak confidently and you make it seem it's like normal for women, probably even your age, to achieve those things. So what are the skill sets that we can learn or think straight here for anything that help you navigate this sort of lonely places? Thank you.
Thank you. Please, I don't want to make it easy, but it's not easy, huh? When they usually say, oh, some people when they speak on the stage, they are not stressed, and some are stressed. I can tell you that I was stressed, huh? I was just hiding it behind my Vlisco. So, yes, in most of the job I have done, I was either the first one, or I'm often the first one to do it. Because I believe that when you do something and you are the only one who wants to do it and it's tough, then you will have much bigger impact. So if there are 10 jobs, and all those jobs are normal jobs, and there is one that is really bad profitability and is so much complex, that's a job that you should take. Why? Because if you improve just a little bit, you will have more shine than the other people. It's much easier. Well, it's more difficult, but it's much easier to have visibility, turning around things, than just doing something that everybody's doing. So I'm always for taking something that is more difficult. And the lesson I have learned, and I'm still learning, is that stop asking yourself too many questions and do the things. You will never know exactly what's the exact answer. And there is no need to ask someone like me, because I'm also still learning. I can tell you, but it might not be comprehensive. But often you just need to do it, fail, and then you learn by yourself, because every situation is different than the other one. And then you step up and you will do it better, because you fail, and failure is really tough, it's painful. And then the other one is surround yourself with people who really want the best in you, or the best for you. Find your circle. And then find, I call them your life coach, kind of. So I have friends like that. They don't, maybe are not based in Ghana, some of them, but they know exactly what's my life plan. So every year I sit down and I looked at, okay, what's my goal from a personal point of view, from a family, from a couple, from a career, and I write it down and I track it, really. But my friends are the one who really make sure that I really track it. And they can tell me honestly where I'm messing up, because they know me deeply and they want the best for me. They don't necessarily need to be close friends, they just need to be people that you know will tell you the truth. That's what you need. You don't need people who are just, putting oil on your back. You don't need that. So a good surrounding, people really who want your back, that's the second one. And the third one is really trust God. Trust God and trust the process. At the end, it will be fine. Just do it. It will be fine at the end.
Thank you. So we have two lined up here and a few more. The lady in the floral. There you go. Yes, you.
Interesting, because I had a question and your answer
I don't want to hit the guy.
kind of went to it. But you said something. You said it took you a whole year to accept the role at Vlisco.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember you said you should know your goal, know what you want to do, know yourself, know who you are, know where you are. Within this year, before you accepted the role, what was your end game? Is this the whole time you took to process? Because initially you said you didn't take the job.
Yeah.
So what did you do within the space? And why did you decide to take the role?
So when they reached out to me, I wasn't expecting to get a job, because in my plan, and I'll tell you, it sounds weird, I already said to myself when I'm going to go to my next move. And it wasn't 2022, it was supposed to be 2023. But I'm so picky about numbers that I said, okay, these guys are a bit early, why are they here already? They should wait next year to come and give me the offer. But that year, I was still working for another company. I was also MD for another company. And okay, the reason why I wanted to look for another job is not like I didn't like the company where I was. It is that I felt that I reached to a point where I wasn't growing anymore. And even though I thought that I felt I reached that point, then I asked myself, what can you do to make your job, what can you do to love your job more? I always ask myself, because often we try to put the problem in the hand of the company, but the problem is us. So don't say that, okay, you are bored, or you are not getting promotion because your boss is not looking at you, he doesn't like your clothes or your face. No, that's not the case. Always the problem is you. When you think that way, you can always fix the problem, but when you push the problem to someone, then you will not fix it. You will never fix it. But if you embrace it and say, whenever there is a challenge or there is a problem, it's your problem. So when I was there in the previous company, I find myself a bit bored. And I looked at, okay, how can I make it more exciting? And I asked myself, maybe you are the one who are now boring. You have to change yourself now and make it more exciting. So I came with initiative in the organization to engage the employees and make it more exciting. And I was loving it. And often, when you are at the peak in your career, that's when the best job comes. when you look like you are sad and nothing is happening, nobody wants people who are sad and people who are depressed and complaining. No, no one wants it in your company. So it's better you are on your peak when you are looking for a job. So when during that time, I was working on myself to be a better leader in my previous job. And when they came back, but they explained me better what would be that job. And I looked at my values in my life plan. Does it fit? And in my life plan, I really want to work a lot about empowerment. I'm from Niger. It's one of the poorest countries in the world. I didn't have a really wealthy beginning. I know where I come from. And it's very important to know where you come from, because when you know where you come from, you always try to improve where you come from. So my goal really is always to empower things around, to have a better impact in my own country, to have a better impact for women, because I know what women are living in my country. I want to be a better example and show that even at my age, you can do greater things, you can achieve greater things. I have a daughter. In fact, I never wanted to have a daughter, but I have. That's another story for another time. But I feel that in 20 years, she will look at me and say, gosh, mommy, you did it. You know, mommy, then I can also be prime minister in UK. And I'll tell her, yeah, girl. But that, you see how big that purpose is? I'm doing it for my daughter. And that purpose will never fade, because I will always be older than my daughter. But that's what you need to aim at. Yeah? I hope I replied. Thanks.
Thank you. We had a gentleman. There you go, sir. You can ask your question. And then that'll be our last question. We have so many questions from our online viewers as well. Again, online viewers, I promise you we'll feed your questions to our presenter, and we'll make sure we get her to respond and send you your responses. But we do have to round up. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. Please, I'm Mohina Asante. Yeah, Madam Doro, my question is about resilience.
You went back to my first subject.
Yes, resilience. We want to withstand the challenges. We want to withstand a lot of shocks as Africans. But most of the times when we start everything that we want to do, it's like the little shock, then we collapse. I want to bring this issue of young people facing a lot of challenges, especially employment and sustainable job creation. Immediately you start something, you feel like the community is so tough and hard to the point that you can't succeed. How do we withstand these challenges and build resilient ecosystem for ourselves? Thank you.
Yeah. It's a very good question. And you know, sometimes when I also looked at, though I'm not looking for a job, but when I think about our African situation, sometimes I feel like, well, 2 steps front and then you know 3 steps back. But then you have the Bold New Normal book that gives you hope. Yes. And there is something really important that I've learned from that book. One is that we can only succeed together. Collective work is important. When I say collective work, is us with our community, and even me, maybe I also should do more as a person. You know, we know what our youth are facing. We know what they are living in. So as a community, we should do better. I should do better. Each of us should do better for our community, because in our community you have the youth. So the first question I would throw back is, what are we doing in our own circle for our country and our continent? Are we really giving our best? I was listening a story of someone who did a test, and he wanted to, I think he was working on passion to trying to define or something else. Don't quote me here. So he saw someone who was begging, and that beggar has a board, and that board was saying, give me $5, you know, like I'm a beggar, give me $5. And of course, I think that beggar was receiving maybe $10 a week on average. And then he did a test, and then he changed that board, and he replaced it by, if you only give money once in a month, give it to me, please. So he changed the problem to turn it not being like, I want you to pity me, but in a way that if you are doing something, do it for yourself. I don't know if you understand here. Yeah? And she got $10 in a day, that lady. So the $10 in a month become $10 in the day. Because people felt touched that now it was in their own hand to fix the problem. So it goes back to our youth definition, is as youth, myself, I would say, guilty. I should also do more. And now to the youth themselves, if you lose hope, what do we have left? But it's true, if you lose hope, we don't have anything left. We shouldn't just count on our politician and our government. Though it's important, I'm not really blaming any, though it's important, and it's also, we need to understand that being a politician is not that easy. We are not in the seat. But you, in your own sphere, don't lose faith and don't lose hope. As soon as a human being lose hope, then there is nothing left. The current situation where we are is one of the toughest one right now. And I know the little or the big shock we all are living is affecting all of us, not just youth, but even me as a business is affecting me. Yeah. So what we need to build on is keeping that hope, working as a community with other youths, and trying to figure out how can we mitigate the risk and the plan. How can we work together? That's when you become stronger. If you just think about you as a person, you just work in your corner, you won't achieve much. And it will be much difficult, you will be more vulnerable. But work with other people to try to fix a problem. And then you have other things that I probably need to do a speech to the president and say that we need support, but that's another discussion. I think be positive. And also try to find people around there who can coach you and support you as much as possible, because they probably have faced what you have faced. The current inflation that you are is not the first one in Ghana. So if you talk to someone who has faced it in the years back, he or she will tell you what you should do at this time and how to overcome it easily. Did I help?
Thank you so much. We have so many questions. We promise you will get answers and send you answers to your questions. Thank you so much, Fatou. You were phenomenal. No, stay. We want to again acknowledge our sponsors who have powered this session and this entire conference. We want to again acknowledge our headline sponsor, Margins Group. Can we put our hands together for them, please? We want to thank APSA as well. We want to thank Vlisco. We want to thank MTN, Type, and Cosmos Innovation Center. Thank you so very much for making this a realization. At this moment, we would like to, I believe Vlisco has a presentation. If you didn't know, Lucy Quist is the brand ambassador for Vlisco. Can we put our hands together for Vlisco? At this moment, I know Vlisco would like to present something to Lucy. I'm not quite sure what it is. Are we excited about it? Yes. Can we put our hands together for Vlisco and for Lucy Quist as she mounts the stage? Thank you so much. Is she mic'd? Oh, I don't think Lucy's mic'd. Okay, let's encourage Vlisco with a hand of applause, please. Come on. Whilst they figure it out, why don't you take the opportunity for a lovely photo op? The cameraman is ready. Yes, you can take a few. And then whilst we're here, make sure that you're tweeting. You know our hashtag is TBNN, the Bold You Normal. Invite your friends. It's still not too late, I'm sure, for them to join virtually because we have more coming in store for you. Thank you. Fantastic. Let me help you there. Ooh, exciting.
Yes?
Put your hands together for Vlisco, please. You got this, ladies? Thank you so much.
I just want to say a very big thank you. Hopefully I'm shouting loud.
Wait, let's get the mic. Do we have a...
Okay. All right. Excellent. I just want to say a very big thank you. Thank you, Fatou. A very big thank you to Vlisco. It's been a very exciting year so far, and being your brand ambassador obviously powered some of the inspiration behind this. And thank you for your support that goes beyond just the talk and just everything, but the commitment. And as I've said repeatedly, it's sponsors like Vlisco that have made today possible. It's made it possible for everyone in the room and online to be part of this conference for free because some people pay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this is a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have more exciting things for you. You can stretch out your arms, your limbs. Come on, move your arms. There we go. That was exciting. Let's put our hands together one more time for Madame Fatou Doro.